Hey Internet, it's John.
I am Eduardo.
And today we're going to talk about the things we would most like to see in an Arkham Asylum
New Arkham game.
Sequel.
Yeah.
Potential sequel. There's kind of two ways they can go with this. One is to do a Batman Beyond-esque sequel, and the other is to do either a prequel or some other. I guess they could do something else, but I don't think it would make much sense other than a future Batman or
you're touching on the storylines themselves, and to do Batman Beyond, I don't necessarily think it would require much of an overhaul in terms of the graphics, because they already have like basically all the assets. They would just have to futurize everything really much, and if you include any possible future storylines that they have with, like, what is it, the Batwing? That's the new guy. He's like Lucius Fox's son.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if they include him, he's like kind of like the predecessor to like the Batman Beyond suit, which I'm kind of really enjoying right now. But what I was thinking is that they kind of take the route that a lot of newer games are doing. Like, I'm playing Final Fantasy 15 right now, and it's kind of a stretch to say it's like Arkham, but it's like they have all the assets, and what they're essentially doing with like all this DLC is that they are adding more storyline elements to the main game as you play through it. And I wanted to make a list of like the best Batman storylines to include in the Arkhamverse. But Arkham is no longer just the Asylum. You have Arkham City, you have Gotham City, you have all the assets from Arkham Asylum. You can make an open world game that is Gotham City. But I think my argument would be that you could actually include storyline DLCs. Yeah. Kind of like what they did with like Batgirl and the Red Hood and the Robin, like DLC packs in the Arkham games.
And I think the idea of a more open, I mean, it's pretty open, but the idea of, at least maybe character-wise, more open, because most of the games you get to play as another character here and there, but it's pretty minimal. It would be cool if there was actually, I think the closest they've done that is Arkham City with Catwoman.
Right.
It's almost, you can play almost the whole same game because there's trophies that are just for Catwoman hidden throughout. So I think it would be cool if they did one where there's a whole game that's Batman and then almost, maybe not quite, but almost the exact same amount of playtime that you could get kind of a different experience with, as say Nightwing or Robin, Red Robin, Batgirl, whatever they do. Have Gotham here, and then maybe have a second map, and it's Bloodhaven. And there was rumors of that, I think, for Arkham Knight. There was some early rumors that there might be a whole Bloodhaven segment, and then it turned out there wasn't. So it was kind of...
Be cool, or...
Maybe it was some in DLC, but it was just for, like, maps. It wasn't for actual story content.
Yeah, I mean, depending on, like, what kind of system they're using to, like, build the in-game assets and stuff, they could, like, totally randomize it and go into like these other cities. I'm even thinking, I'm extrapolating into like the whole idea of like, since they're doing like a Justice League cinematic universe now, they could stretch Arkhamverse into like these other cities. It's like Metropolis at night. You're fighting like these crazy Superman villains. You get help. Like that would be like, I would feel like that would have to be like an assist character, because to play as Superman would be breaking the game. It'd be like God mode and Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I mean, if they do, I mean, there's I think there's been rumors that I think Rocksteady's actually said they would like to do a Superman game. Right. There's been rumors of that being in or out of production, so that would be interesting, because I figured if someone was going to make a Superman game not the most boring thing ever, it would probably be them. Also,
no, let's bring back the guys who made the Superman N64 game. Let's give them a second chance. Let's see what they do with like Unreal Engine 4. Oh, I'm a sadist.
Anyways, I think there's enough superpowered villains.
Well, I don't want it to just be like there's like 50 bajillion villains that are there. I don't know if you ever played like the Marvel like Legends games, like where you played as like X-Men and different Marvel characters, and you fought like literally like everyone in the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But they're like really dry, and some people are gonna kill me for saying it, but they're kind of really boring beat 'em ups. They're like team-based beat 'em ups, I really didn't like that. And I really do like the direction that Arkham went with like the villains, where they gave them like concrete storylines that were interwoven with each other, with the exception to like the main bad, who was able to kind of like gather everyone together, and that kind of does happen in the comic books.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that happen with like storylines that they haven't touched yet, or they've kind of hinted at, like especially Hush. Hush is like my favorite Batman storyline.
Because they sort of wrapped it up with Arkham Knight, but it wasn't super satisfying.
Yeah.
If they did a future, Batman Beyond type deal, Ink, Powers, I don't think there was any other villains that I'm really... Shriek was pretty cool. They had some cool villains in Batman Beyond. If they did a prequel, which I'm kind of more excited about, just because I personally loved Origins. Yeah, it had bugs, but
well,
the story
I would have loved to play
good.
through Origins, but I had to be happy with everyone's YouTube playthrough videos, because it crashed my entire PS3, and it also crashed my computer when I tried to play it on Steam.
Oof.
So I don't know what is wrong, but I seem to be cursed whenever I try to play Batman Origins.
Yeah, I just love the story and how they handle the characters. It felt, because Rocksteady I think went a little overboard. And I mean, I love this game. So with some of their designs, like Bane, come on.
Okay,
Who thought that was a good idea?
Some of the Bane designs are really ridiculous.
I mean, that's true across the board. But I feel like especially the Arkhamverse ones weren't. But the way they did it for Origins with W Montreal, I really liked the look. He still had his signature mask, but he had like his kind of like a leather, like military style jacket. It's pretty cool. But
the Smart Bane.
Smart Bane, yeah. So I would love to see them take a second crack at like a prequel to the trilogy, but a sequel to Arkham Origins. Maybe like when Robin is around, but it's still pretty early in the game.
If you want to do that, we can do Death in the Family.
I think that would be an interesting
Joker as the Joker having diplomatic immunity and taking out Superman with like laughing gas.
No, Superman takes him out.
No. Death in the Family. That's when Joker like takes down Superman, and then he kidnaps Death in the Family.
He tries to gas the UN, but Superman sucks it all in.
No, he sucks it all in, but he does whoop his ass for a little bit.
I thought he just escaped because Superman's busy. Like,
see, I clearly need to read Death in the Family again.
But anyways, it would be an interesting arc to update because obviously you can't have the Ayatollah Joker.
I mean, I would. You have to. It's so ridiculous. Ayatollah Joker.
It's so politically not okay now. But
are you kidding me?
It's so bonkers.
It's so bonkers.
Maybe it is, because it's the Ayatollah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I would really like to see. Again, always more Clayface. I'm personally, if I could pick what it is tomorrow, so I think this is what they're going to, the next Warner Brothers Batman game is, it would definitely be a sequel to Origins and a prequel to the rest of it, because
I'm like
so much potential.
I'm like a huge fan of horror games and stuff, so I would love to see like them going way off the bat, collaborating with maybe the guys at Midway and doing like a Batman versus Predator like storyline arc in the Arkhamverse.
Concrete Jungle.
Exactly, Concrete Jungle. You have the Predator like hunting Batman. Imagine that, like an actual Arkham game where you're hunted down, and you have to like use the shadows to find cover. But this is like a creature that can see like infrared. It's perfect. And you can bring an alien into the fold, and it's just ridiculous. I think I just want a really good Alien versus Predator game.
Well, we have one.
I mean, we have Alien Isolation, which is pretty good.
But the one from like 2010, I thought that was great.
I mean, it's a fun game. It's a fun game.
That's all I want out of AVP is a fun game. I don't really need I don't expect it to be Shakespeare.
No, I think I just want them fighting. I think I want them fighting Batman. No Superman, because those Batman Alien comics are really dumb. Those were dumb.
Superman, Tarzan and Predator, that was pretty sweet.
I've not read that.
It's been a long time, but my memory is very dark. But yeah,
I could do some Joker Alien in my life.
I could handle that. But yeah, hopefully they do something soon because I want a more Bat game. More Bat games.
I want a more Bat game.
More of a Bat game. I want more Bat games in my life, so.
I want more Bat games too.
Let us know what you think. What would you like to see in a future Arkham Rocksteady, WB Montreal Batman game.
Yeah.
There's one. And I'm sure there is. I've heard enough rumors that it sounds like there's something in the works. So, yeah. Let us know in the comments below.
Down there, right below the things.
Like, subscribe, you know the deal.
Press the buttons that appear before the faces. And, see you soon.
Ciao.
Henry! Henry!
Thank you.